What is happening, people? Welcome to Gooner Down Under TV, and it is another European night. It's another European win for the Arsenal. You just love to see it. If it's your first time on the channel, go ahead, take the early leap, go and subscribe, be along for the ride. If you're a returning viewer, then you sub as well. You know what I'm saying? If you are a sub, then just like the video. You've already done enough. You're a good person. Appreciate you. But with all that being said, it's all about the game against Sevilla. Thought it was a total domination game. I don't know why in the Champions League we have a different approach than the Premier League. We still do have that controlling aspect to a T, where we sort of try to limit their chances, and I think we did that really well up until I think it was the 90-something minute. They didn't even have a shot on target. And even then, I'll probably get into that a bit later, but I think we switched off. We sort of became a bit lackadaisical, which sort of gave them a half opportunity. But that's not what I'm going to start with. I don't know why in these Champions League games we're seeing our two wingers play with that freedom, able to express themselves, take on the fullback, go one-on-one, beat a defender, and that is where a lot of our good things came from. In the Premier League, sort of a lot of that take a couple steps in, pass back, never look to take the defender one-on-one, never look to create something out of nothing, and it really inhibits us. Inhibits us? You know what I mean. I think these two guys especially now, wingers are probably our best asset in the attacking aspect, and yet they're so confined, so strained, so, they're not able to get out of their shell. But today was the complete opposite. Martinelli was a man on a mission every single time he got the ball. He was taking on that fullback, CDM, centre back, whoever was defending him, and he was absolutely skinning them every single time. That's exactly what I want to see. I don't care if you lose the ball, but at least try to take that defender on. To be fair, I can't even remember an instance where he lost it. He seemed, to be perfect at it. He was just dominating whoever was coming up against him. Some people might talk about the end product. He wasn't picking out a player. He wasn't, nothing sort of maybe came of those take-ons. But that's not always the case, but at least it puts you in better opportunities. It gave us a lot of corners, a lot of balls into the box. Sevilla did play very defensive. They parked, I don't know why, to be honest. They are coming last in the group now, and I think they would have been a little bit more expressive than they were, but they had everyone back. And especially against a low block, a team trying to play defensive, if you can get someone like a Martinelli taking on their player, breaking down that low block, it really does help us create more. It makes the defense sort of think differently about how to defend us as well. And it doesn't make us so predictable, so one way and, slow, just swinging it from the side to the back. It gives us another edge, another element. And today, Saka on the other wing was doing the exact same thing. Every time he got the ball, he wasn't looking to play it back. He was looking forwards, trying to take that player on. And, he was getting kicked left, right, and center. To be fair, did well, never really let it irritate him. Sort of always just got back up and kept trying. And I think these two wingers deserve all their flowers today. Talking about flowers, I'm going to give the opposite. I don't know what Sevilla were doing. A lot of their more attacking players coming off the bench today. I don't know why. Yes, maybe they were playing for a draw, but I think they should have taken some chances. Other teams have gotten at us before this season. We're not invincible. We're not unable to be broken down. I think they definitely could have found more opportunities if they tried to, sort of play football maybe. I don't know. I didn't expect that from Sevilla at all. I thought maybe there'd be a little bit more pressing, maybe a little bit higher, trying to at least get some counters. But they were just all the way back, looking like they were just trying to stop us from scoring, and that was their only goal. Sort of other contributions. I thought Trossard was really good today. Got a goal. Not necessarily outstanding, but linked up play well, dropped into the midfield, allowed Havertz to sort of fill that place up in the striker role and vice versa. And I think it, again, gives us another dimension. Besides that, I think we need to see a little bit more from some other players. Declan Rice today wasn't the best. There were some opportunities where he drives with the ball really well, but I'd like to see him, especially in that final third, take a chance. Instead of sort of just passing it backwards to Martinelli, open the player up, try and get a shot on goals, do something. I'm definitely not going to go in on him because he's been, bar maybe Saliba, our best player of the season. But especially in that 8 role, I would like to see a lot more. And while we're talking about see a lot more, definitely the same goes for Kai Havertz. He got into some half opportunities, but we just need more. Especially, when Martinelli and Saka are doing their thing. This would be the game where he has those openings, he has those opportunities, and just didn't really capitalize on it. And I think, with the possibility of Saka being out, we're going to need a lot of people to step up. This sort of goes into my next point. We do have quite a bit of an injury crisis at the moment. It's looking like Jesus, Nketiah, Saka, Odegaard, Partey, Timber might all be out. We've got Smith Rowe as well, especially for that game against Burnley. Saka did end up walking off by himself. He was able to, not go into the tunnel, stay with the players, which is a good sign. But, not too sure. Sometimes maybe you wake up the next morning and it starts hurting a lot more. It can swell up. And I'm just hoping it's nothing serious. Because I feel like anytime we start to get some momentum, another crucial player is out. Partey gets that pre-assist against Man City, if you like it, or at least, puts in a really good pass. We hope we're going to start seeing more of that. Gets injured. Then we got Jesus against Sevilla. Beautiful game, 2 goals, all down to him. Not too long after, gets injured. Saka, finally, the whole season he's sort of, been constricted, not being able to express himself. Today looked really good, lively, attacking players, this and that. Gets injured. So I don't know what's happening to our team, but we need to start being a little bit, I don't know if cautious is the word, but I don't know, we just need some luck to go our side. I think Arteta sort of substituting Martinelli off and bringing on Reece Nelson was a mistake. Not necessarily because Saka ended up getting injured. Anyone can get injured at any time. I think it's always such a gamble, and hindsight is a wonderful thing. But for me, Martinelli of the two was the slightly more lively winger, the one taking on the player a bit more, being the one more expressive, putting us in good opportunities. And it just didn't make sense to take him off for me. I think this was the one game Saka could have been subbed earlier. But, it is what it is. And now that sort of puts us in a bit of a predicament against Burnley at the weekend. So, we do have a lot of injuries. Not too sure who's going to be in, who's going to be out. This is a team that I would roll with. There has been that Raya-Ramsdale debate, and I'm sick of putting Ramsdale in goal and not seeing him. So we're going with Raya. We know Raya's going to be in there. We know there's not going to be much substitution for now. Raya is clearly the number 1 keeper in Arteta's eyes. Back 4, I want Zinni to come back in here because I feel like this is a game where he can really control it. Burnley, they're not the Burnley of old. They do try and get at teams. They do leave a lot of spaces open. And I think this is a game Zinchenko can really capitalize on. We saw Jorginho today playing a really good pass to Saka, who who slotted it to Trossard for that opening goal. Where are my words? I think Zinchenko can do the same thing. When there's a game where there's more opportunities, more space, he can deliver a killer pass to really unlock a defense. So I want to see him there. He was revolutionary for us last season, and we need to see more of that in that midfield. I don't want to see sort of that double pivot Rice-Jorginho. Against Burnley, we should be on the front foot. We should be trying to create as much as possible. And so I'm going Rice, Havertz, and Vieira. To be honest, if Smith Rowe was in there, I'd probably put him in over Havertz for this game. But it is what it is, and let's just say hopefully this is the game Havertz kicks on. And up front, we don't really have any option. If Nelson does not start now, then I don't know what the point of him staying was. I think a lot of people necessarily overstate that, where they say Arteta re-signed him, that's his guy. It's not that much, they didn't have to pay an extra fee to bring Nelson back. They just had to sign him to a contract. There was no, fee to another club. They just wanted probably extra bodies. They knew they weren't going to get a backup right wing. So it's the easy option. But now, that easy option is the one that's going to have to play. No Nketiah. I doubt Saka's playing. Jesus isn't here to play that right wing spot. We're going to need to see Nelson, and I want to see him capitalize on this opportunity. You know, it is against Burnley. It's a favourable matchup. No, you know, of course, nothing's ever guaranteed in the league, but this is as guaranteed as possible, and we need him to have a big performance because I want him to be relied upon when Saka, you know, is having a poor game or isn't available. We need to have certified cover, and this is the way to do it. You know, come in, show up, get 1 goal, 1 assist, 9 out of 10 performance, and I think that would go a really long way. For today, I think that's where I'm going to leave it. Could maybe go into an Eddie or Trossard debate, but I might just leave it there. Might leave it for another video. We'll see how it goes. Before I end it, I want to hear what you have to say. Let me know what you thought about the game. Do you also think there's sort of a difference between Champions League and Premier League? And what is your lineup prediction for that game against Burnley? Let me know all in the comment section below, and I will see you in that next video. Peace.